Yes, this is that video. All of the amazing people watching this right now, you probably have noticed that my uploads on YouTube have not been as frequent as before. Truth is that I've always heavily prioritized live streaming on Twitch, and YouTube was more like a side thing for me from the start, actually. It's probably not super smart and probably one of the reasons that we're here today, but I don't really want to focus on that right now. There'll be plenty of thinking about that in the future when I think about all the things that I could have done differently and did wrong in the last almost 9 years now that I've been doing this. Numbers we uploaded, or I uploaded, I should say. I would say we. That's a Twitch thing. Uploaded 1,327 videos, with almost 500 of those being the coaching videos that we started over 5 years ago. And we've reached almost 11,000, over actually 11,000 subscribers here on YouTube. But the main thing I did was streaming. I did over 22,000 hours of streaming there. Just thinking about that is actually kind of crazy. And we've reached about 22,000 followers with that. So about 1 per hour there. All of that, as you can imagine, has taken its toll. Not having weekends and almost no evenings because of time zones with EU and doing the live streaming mainly. Has made it apparent that I'm getting old. Basically too old for the tempo and the demand of the type of content that I was making. So I really had to think, is that the kind of content I want to keep making, or do I want to do some other stuff? I considered shifting gears with streaming less and maybe doing more specific YouTube stuff, because then you can record in your own time and just upload as you go. But I was always stopped to do that because the main thing I just liked doing was the direct interaction with the live audience, and that really always kept me going. I had other plans, starting this out, and but I don't want to go into that too much, honestly. But yeah, creating content just became kind of stale because the viewership started going down, mainly over the last year and a half. I want to say 18 months or so. I wasn't keeping exact track because I never wanted to be a slave to the metrics. But you do notice, less activity in the chat and stuff like that. And it's not any particular one's fault. It's just, these things just happen, And then because that was dwindling, I was having less interaction. That made, I think, the content on stream probably a lot more routine, a lot more boring. And that made fewer people want to tune in, which is normal. So that basically created a vicious cycle that made the stream to the situation where it is now. I've always been more of a person of quality over quantity, but at the end of the day, there's still a bottom line you have to meet, and being self-employed in Belgium is just not very lucrative. There's a lot of taxes and a lot of costs associated with that, and it's just extremely hard to keep the head above water, so to say. Therefore, now I have decided to retire from full-time content creation on Twitch and YouTube. It doesn't mean that I will never stream again, and it doesn't mean that I will never make a YouTube video again, but it does mean that for now my priorities are going to shift very strongly towards seeking probably full-time employment or doing other projects. Probably start with employment just, to get my finances going, and then I can always, look from there. But also just doing more social things, having my evenings back, having my weekends back, hanging out with more people, rekindling friendships that I've been neglecting, and potentially dating. We'll see if there's any demand for that for MapleStory streamer wash-ups. We'll see if there's a big demand in the dating market for that. More to follow on that one. But yeah, I've simply been putting off my life for the better part of the past 9 years, or at least some parts of it, right? And mainly because of the pandemic, I really lost sight of how much time had actually passed. And if I ever have kids, I want to make sure that I can tell them that I did have the dream, to do the content, and I did give it a good try. It's already good, I've already overstayed my welcome, so that's already something I'm going to have to deal with. But it is something that I want to be able to share with people. Like, hey, if you have that dream, do take time, do go for it, but set yourself better limits than I did. I definitely, because you want to be able to look back at that you did it, purposefully, and not just kind of just went into it and hope for the best, because that's kind of what I did. And it's time to face the music now, essentially, for myself. What has kept me going over all these years has been your guys' great support over on Twitch, of course, but definitely here on YouTube as well. And a lot of you guys on Twitch actually found me through YouTube, so there's probably a lot of overlap in those numbers, right? That's why I'm not adding those numbers up. But But thank you for letting me into your homes and into your lives, one stream and one video at a time. I hope I added some value and some entertainment to your lives, and I hope to see you all again someday when I have my shit together. So yeah, thank you so much for everything. And if you want to stay in touch with me or with each other, I'll still be checking out the platforms and everything. But best thing would be to join the Discord. Link will be in the description if you want to join there. And I will probably keep that up to date. If there's new functionality or new things that we need on there, feel free to reach out to any of the moderators or to me. And then we can probably look at if there's some spaces where if you guys want to chat about things. But we've always had a pretty small community, so I assume that there's going to be plenty of space to do that kind of stuff already. But yeah, feel free to DM me with any thoughts you have or anything you want to share. Or if you want to check in a few weeks or in a few months to see what I'm doing. I'll probably, I won't be completely gone from the internet. It's just going to be like the full-time content creation thing. It's just going to be over. I need to do it to create space for myself to actually start working on those things, because it's been too tempting and too easy to just click go live on Twitch and just do that the entire day, and then there's no time for anything else, So I have to create that space first, and then once I get my shit in order, I'm gonna see you guys. But this is goodbye for now. See you around.